prevent school shootings? How do we prevent these mass shootings that are happening in our
We're
world?
never going to be able to ban semi-automatic weapons in our country. It is too much of a highly politicized thing.
There's this push to ban AR-15s because it is the favorite of mass shooters. But we just did a self-defense course, and we had a retired police officer come in, and he kind of showed us how to use, different weapons that are out there. And technically speaking, the rifles that are used for hunting are much deadlier. They can hold higher caliber bullets, than an AR-15 would be able to. And so my question originally, when we first started talking about this, was, can you convert? Are we wanting to ban AR-15s, or are we wanting to ban rifles altogether? And then, as I was looking into it more, the question was, can a hunting rifle, like a bolt action or whatever, can that actually hold an AR style magazine where you can hold between 25 to 30 rounds at one time? So you can take essentially a more deadly weapon, which is the hunting rifle, and you can make it a semi-automatic weapon.
Whether you just look at the highly mentioned AR-15 and all the news cycles, let alone rifles that can be expanded into semi-automatic weapon. It is too much a part of our fiber now, being able to protect our home or to be able to hunt with higher power weapons such as AR-15s or hunting rifles and things of that nature. So the word ban will never be able to come into a realistic conversation on both sides of the aisle. And the one thing that we want to focus on is in TNC is not to be highly politicized.
Right.
We're not looking, we don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. The biggest flaws in our country are decisions that are solely coming from either a Democrat or a Republican. So let's take the word ban out of our vocabulary.
Yeah.
Now, what we have banned is more of the machine gun styles, which are the fully automatic weapons, or the ability to modify an AR or a rifle to become fully automatic. We have banned those.
Mhm.
Now, what I think we can look at TNC.
Just to make it clear, it's just, TNC is the Noahide community. And obviously TNC as an organization, we don't represent every Noahide organization out there, but when we say TNC, we're really just saying the Noahide community in general.
Number one, we should be able to check a child's background. If there's anything, any violent crimes that happen before 18, you should not be able to turn 18 and simply go and buy a high-powered rifle or AR-15, number one, or gun in general.
Technically speaking, I don't know if the Uvalde shooter was like how close to his 18th birthday he had committed those previous, crimes. Suspected that he had a previous juvenile record,
Right.
and that just because he literally turned 18, it was expunged, and it was not. But had they taken into consideration some of his affinities prior to turning 18,
it could have been a red flag.
It could, right. And I agree with you that I think people that have, some sort of juvenile record, it's not that necessarily you punish them and you say you can't make any mistakes in your youth, otherwise we're going to penalize you as an adult. But definitely you should have to prove that you've either overcome some things, like maybe through some, mental health checks or some sort of anger management classes, or at least give you the waiting period of however, whether it's months or years into your adulthood, just to make certain that you're like a changed person. Go ahead.
Number two, I think that it is commonly known that there should be some type of cool down period of being able to buy your weapon, especially for the first time. Now, whether we look at that as 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days,
or even longer,
even 6 months, I think that there should be proper training. If you're going to own a higher caliber weapon, I think that we should look into, more of a training situation where you do learn how to be extremely safe.
Okay, so before we did our weapons training, somebody told us, hey, you could just take, what was it, like an hour course or a 2-hour course, and then they shoot one round into a barrel and boom, you can go ahead and apply for your permit. But what our family did is we got the kids. We actually had a retired police officer come, and he trained us. It was painful. It was long, but it was about 5-6 hour lesson that we went through with him at our home. And then the next day we went to the gun range, even the kids, and we shot, what was it, 50 rounds each, and his recommendation was to do this on a regular basis to become responsible. And the focus while we were training wasn't just, hey, how do you use a weapon? The focus was on how do you avoid conflict.
And last but not least, I think there should be mental health checks on a normal basis. I mean, at the very least, the very first time that you're buying a gun or a weapon, but even if we can say a higher powered AR-15 or rifle, with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
And I think that there should be a standardized mental health check that you must be able to pass. And if we look at those 3 or 4 things, I think that we would have a much more responsible and safer situation of being able to acquire and hold guns in our country.
I agree 100%. I definitely think we can eliminate the political arguments by removing the word ban, and stop demonizing ownership of weapons.
Right, responsible ownership of weapons.
Right, we need to focus more on responsible ownership, and then you're going to alleviate the fears of people that are just unfamiliar with guns and how they work. And then you're also going to alleviate the concerns of people who have the right to own a weapon for the purpose of self-defense or hunting.
Right. Background checks.
Background checks.
Even for youth.
Yep.
Proper training.
Right.
And
mental health screenings.
Mental health screening. Nobody cares anymore that you had to go through proper training to be able to drive a vehicle. Why are we dealing with situations that we are so afraid to have proper training in holding weapons that can kill people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let us know if you guys have any other thoughts, any ideas about what we could do as a society to, make gun ownership, I don't know, something that's, is there a safer way? Do you have any better ideas than what we've proposed and what's been proposed out there? Let us know in the comments.
By TNC. We're dedicated to making the world a better place.